Okay, real quick, I'm going to talk today about slip-on grips. A couple of my favorites would be the Tuff-1 brand grips and the Hogue Handall. Hogue ones have been around a lot longer. The Tuff-1s, they're kind of a new entry. Difference between the two here, this is more of a traditional type of rubber. It's fairly flexible. It's got kind of a hard, sort of rigid feel towards the side panels here. It also has kind of a palm swell in there. I don't know if you can see how well in there, but it's about an eighth inch thick right here, right in the middle of your palm on both sides. And of course you got your finger grooves there, which kind of help for a quick location of your grip, so you get a real consistent grip every time you grab that. Your hands or your fingers are always going to be exactly in the same place. You don't have a little bit of shift up and down. You don't have to readjust or anything. You just, there it is, and you get a quick positive grip. But the only thing with these, again, this is not really any kind of a silicone-based rubber. It's just rubber, and this stuff will kind of degrade after a while over time. I've had one of these before where, you know, if you have as a carry gun and you bump around and knock things, I had like little holes in there, and they would just kind of stretch open with time gradually and get worse and worse to where it just tear. Also, you have to be kind of careful when you're putting these on. If you don't stretch them too much, they'll rip pretty easy. Now, on the other hand, you got the Tuff-1s here, which they don't have any finger grooves. There's no palm swell. It's basically just a tube of the silicone-based rubber, and you know, they got these little designs molded into them. You know, like diamond plate. They got skulls. They got snake skin. They got there's all sorts of little different ones, and they got different colors like pink and green and so on. But this one, I kind of like it. Fits, you know, the looks and everything of all my guns, and it doesn't have an obnoxious texture to it or anything. But nice thing about these is they are very stretchy. And like I say, this is a silicone kind of rubber. You can really stretch these monsters. I mean, I've seen these actually put on like a high point 45, and those have a humongous grip on them, and they're just gargantuan sized. So these will really, really stretch. And another neat thing about these is the way you put them on. You can do the old trick of, like with the Hogues, these things here, pretty common trick, and one that I've used myself a lot, is just take you some spray, hairspray, and just squirt it on the inside here, and it kind of acts as like a little bit like a kind of a lube, sort of like I don't know if some of you guys have bicycles and stuff. Put on your handlebar grips on there. You used to use soapy water, slip it on there. It's kind of the same principle, except when you do it on this, it helps you get it on, and then once it dries, it kind of acts as like a weak kind of adhesive, so it doesn't shift, like, you know, from side to side or up or down, so it stays right where you put it. So that's kind of nice. You don't really need to do that so much on the Tuff-1s. You can, and it does help a little bit, but you can also put these on dry if that's an issue for you, you know, putting any kind of this sticky stuff on there. You can kind of roll these on, and the way you do that is, sorry to be crude, but this is about the same as rolling on a condom. You're pretty much using the same mechanics of it. You roll it up kind of like a donut, like that, and then you put it onto the base of the grip. Let's just say this is the base. Put it on the grip, and then you just unroll it onto the grip like so, and then you can shift it around a little bit here and there until you get everything lined up to where you want it, and there you have it. So, just for example, one reason why you'd want to put them on there, guns like this, the Ruger SR9, really good shape and everything to it, but this texture, even though it's comfortable shooting everything, if you're carrying this on your hip under a shirt, and you don't have a shirt between you and the actual gun itself, this is kind of like a file on your skin. I mean, it will just scrape the poopy-doo out of you. So to guard yourself against that, unless, you know, you want to go wearing an undershirt all the time, which is not practical, you know, if you're in a place like here in the desert in Arizona, easiest thing is just put on a little slip-on grip between you and that. You have this nice, soft, squishy texture between you and the gun, and if you've got sweaty hands and everything, that actually helps you grip it a lot more securely. So just a little explanation of why people put those on there, for those who might be wondering. As far as putting on the grip itself, some things I'll show you here. I'll just do the Hogue real quick because it's the easiest to show on camera here. But first of all, a lot of time it helps take the mag out. And you don't have to take the gun down to do it. I mean, obviously you want to safety check and make sure you don't have any rounds in there or anything. But with the Hogue, as I said, you take your grip here, take some hairspray, and you spray a bit inside. I'm kind of, you know, putting in quite a bit there because this stuff, if it dries pretty quick, it gets harder to slide on there. Now make sure you got it oriented right. This here on the Hogue, you got the Hogue logo here on the left side towards the bottom. You put on the back end, the back strap side first. Put it on as deep as you can go, get your finger inside there, and then slip it over the front edge. And that hairspray, see how easy that slides on now? It's kind of like acts as sort of as a lube. Not greasy or anything, but see how it slides on there a lot easier? You try and do that dry, and it's just a nightmare trying to get that on there. And I try and get all OCD about lining up the seam on the back of there with the seam of the frame, but once you get it on there right where you want it, it dries and it acts again as kind of like a weak, sort of a glue almost. And I always try and get like this extra hold stuff because it's extra sticky. But you get that on there, and then once you have it on there, when you get hold of your pistol, your fingers are always in the same place. You know, sometimes if you don't have that on there, if you're grabbing it in a hurry, you might end up grabbing it down here or real high, and you have to, once you get it up there and you fire a shot or whatever, you might have to kind of readjust your grip a little. Once you get this on there though, it's, your fingers are always in the same place. It kind of helps as like a, you know, a physical memory cue, so you know exactly where your fingers are going to be. It helps you get a real quick, solid, secure grip on there for quick aiming. So really nice. And again, it does serve the same function as the other slip-on grip, which you can even use. Also, another thing is bicycle tire inner tubes. You just buy one for whatever the cheapest one you can find, you know, $3-5 or something from Walmart, and then cut it up, and same as this, and it's pretty similar to this. Not going to be as squishy though, is because this is, again, this is a silicone type of rubber, and your inner tubes are just straight rubber. But that's kind of a poor man's alternative, and one bicycle inner tube will do pretty much every handgun you own. You can cut them to size, length, whatever. But same as this here, it will protect your skin while you're carrying this from getting chewed up, because this does have like a little cobblestone type of texture to it, but this won't sandpaper the crap out of your sides. And you can see how much of that thickness it adds to it with this one. Now if you're worried about thickness of your grip, that would be a minus, and then this would be the way to go. Your really thin ones here with no palm swell or anything. But on this one, I mean, I use this more for like if I got like a coat or something going over it, or just for shooting at the range or home defense, so I'm really not too worried about the thickness overall. So works really good for that though. Really recommend those. Hogue Handalls are about $10. These are about 15, I believe is what I paid for this. So just depends on where you go to get them. I get these locally, but they do have them available online also. So anyways, there you have it folks. Hogue Handall and Tuff-1. Slip-on grips, recommend them. Great stuff. So, for what it's worth, it's my 2 cents on that. Thanks for watching.